massage is satisfying and worthwhile.
Wow.
That of having the pure, unadulterated truth in my scantily clad lap. Because that's how close I like to be to the truth.
Wow.
I like to rub it on me in my underwear.
I'm gonna put that in the intro. I'm gonna put it like out of context of everything. Hello everyone, welcome to Word Funk. I am Leon Thomas. I am joined, as I am every week, by Johnny Maloney and Austin Yorsky. One is from Canada, one is from Florida. I am somewhere in the middle, and we are going to talk about all manner of things, video games and movies and potato salad, because those are the three things we always talk about on Word Funk. Before we get into that, I just want to mention one thing about last week's show. We spent a long time talking about The Shawshank Redemption and neglected to mention that it was written by Stephen King, clearly our favorite and most cherished author of Word Funk. So I just wanted to say that real quick. And now Johnny is going to tell us all about our favorite food and why it costs thousands of dollars to make or something.
It's only our favorite food if we're actually making it with bona fide mayonnaise, so.
Yeah, obviously.
I need to clarify that. Because Miracle Whip is not a thing.
Well, real mayonnaise is...
It is not a miracle. It is not a miracle, and it whips nothing.
Wait a minute,
It's awful.
So Miracle Whip isn't real mayonnaise? What is it?
It is a whipped topping. It's like how they can't call Cool Whip actually whipped cream, because it's not.
Okay, it's some sort of non-dairy thing?
Yeah, it's like Miracle Whip is like a alternative. In fact, it's the only food product I can think of that gets away with calling a chemical aftertaste a tangy zip.
Well, you know, if you advertise it that way, once you taste it and you're like, ew, what is that? You can say, oh, it's supposed to do that. So,
yeah, it's a tangy zip. And you've all been taken in by Miracle Whip. But we're not actually here to talk about Miracle Whip. I guess we're here to talk about actual potato salad. And how much money potato salad costs to make. Zach Danger Brown from Columbus, Ohio, decided that he wanted to make a bowl of potato salad, and of course, reasonably, the only way he thought that he could do that was to crowdfund it. So he started up a Kickstarter to make potato salad. He set his goal at $10, and at this point in time, with 24 days left to go in the Kickstarter, he has accrued $65,444 for the purposes of making potato salad. Now, a lot of people aren't really sure how to feel about this. 4,400 people, as of the recording of this broadcast, have chipped in to Mr. Zach Danger Brown's potato salad. A lot of people are saying that it exposes really how ridiculous crowdfunding is, how there's no future for it. If a guy can, like, kickstart potato salad and get, like, tens of thousands of dollars off of people, then it's obviously a stupid system and it should be shut down. Other people are saying that it's brilliant satire and it's the best reason why crowdfunding is a stupid system. Then there's other people saying that it's just a funny joke, and for a couple of bucks, people are sort of like, yeah, I helped the guy crowdfund potato salad. Do you guys feel any particular one way about this or the other?
As someone who actually does crowdfunding in a manner of speaking, my feeling is I'm for one thing, I'm a little jealous of this guy to accrue that much money. I'm always of the mind that people can spend their money on what they want, and that's always kind of like a bottom line for me. As far as this potato salad thing goes, it's a collective joke. You know, a lot of people got together and said, wouldn't it be funny if we all did this, and then a spontaneous joke happened where a joke was not supposed to happen, and that's the humor in it. It's like when a few years back when that shirt on Amazon.com that had 3 wolves howling at the moon happened, and someone decided to make a funny review about how, like, super magical amazing it was, and then someone else, they made one, and then it became a thing. This thing was not supposed to be funny, but everyone just very slowly decided to make a joke out of it. And that is what this is, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the only thing wrong about that in result is this guy now going to actually take the money? If he does, I guess he earned it for the humor, sort of, but is he going to have to not by law, but by understood kind of sort of contract, have to use it all for potato salad? Is he going to have to use thousands upon thousands of dollars to make potato salad? If not, will he have to give the money back? I don't know the legalities of this, but as a joke, it's a funny joke, and it's one that we all decided, or at least thousands of people all decided to take part in, you know, and for like $1 each, $1 or a few dollars each.
Have you seen the stretch goals on this, guys?
The stretch goals are pretty fantastic.
Because you say, oh, is he really going to do it? Is he going to take the money? Is he going to make the salad? Because he seems to be going, like, all in. He's going to rent out, like, a party hall and invite all the backers over a certain limit to come watch him make the potato salad.
Well, good for him.
And film it and broadcast it on the internet, of course.
He's going to live stream that bitch, yeah.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's going to at least deliver on his stupid promises, hopefully.
I think the amount of attention that he's getting, though, he's going to have to donate some of this money. Some of this money is going to have to get donated. Possibly to, like, I don't know, the World Food Fund or something like that.
I think the real winner here is Kickstarter, because they get a nice cut of this stupidity.
They do, which is kind of hilarious. But, I mean, people who are using it as a criticism to how stupid crowdfunding is, I think are seriously misguided.
Johnny, I would take that criticism over the main reaction that I've been seeing, which is just blind anger. People are furious about this.
But that's the thing. I don't understand why. Like, I haven't donated to it. I can make my own goddamn potato salad, and I would feel better about making my own potato salad than paying another guy to make his potato salad.
But, Johnny, don't you know, if someone gives money to a potato salad, that means they're not supporting artists, obviously.
Of course.
That's how that works.
Unless I declare myself a potato salad artist before I make it. Well, then I can be like, yes, I'm supporting art. Watch.
Anything can be considered art, so, I mean, really, you could say that this person's, the manner in which this person makes potato salad is art. I mean, and humor is art, and clearly he is having a little bit of comical fun with it.
It's performance art.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. You're totally right, Leon. It's a collective joke, and nobody's arm is being twisted here to donate any amount of money to a guy. Like, if anything, I think it's actually like a weirdly stirring representation of how, you know, like what charity could be if people were willing to regularly donate just like a little bit of money out of their regular paycheck to, like, I read some possibly bullshit statistics somewhere a few years ago that it was like all that would need to be required to eradicate poverty is for people to donate like 5 to 10% of their income to relief aid. And that would get rid of everything. That we have so much plenty in the world that to give away a paltry portion of 5 to 10, and again, I don't know how accurate this statistic is, but like if you get like $400 a paycheck or something like that, and you give away like, you know, between 20 and 40 bucks or something like that, that would do it.
You know what that sounds like, Johnny? That sounds like communism.
No, not really, because communism would mean that the government was doing it.
Yeah.
This is free market. This is free market economics here.
For some reason, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is people deciding what to do with their own goddamn money, and the government's got nothing to do with it. You hippie fuck.
For some reason, in this country, the very idea of sharing, as it pertains to finances, is just like an abomination.
I know, because who the fuck ever helped out the poor? I mean, like, the poor are a bunch of fucking retards. It's not like some, I don't know, all-powerful being sent, like, his family down or some shit to instruct humanity on how they should treat those that are less fortunate than them. That'd just be stupid.
I can speak a little to this, having dabbled in crowdfunding myself. When I was setting up my Patreon account, basically to improve the show and to maybe even one day make it my full-time job, instead of doing all the other stuff that I do, I had to be very careful about how I set it up, because if you don't give people something, or at least offer people something who give you something, then everyone will jump up and say, you're just e-begging. You're e-begging. So I set my Patreon up to basically be a way to sell ad space on myself, in a manner of speaking. Anyone who donates even the tiniest amount, if they so choose, I will shout out their project or website and more. And if they give more, I do it on the show. So I tried to do it in such a way that it was just a business rather than it was me, just standing there, hat in hand, as they say.
Well, I mean, that's more sensible, because you are going to come up against less resistance. But the question that I'm just asking here is, what the hell is wrong with wanting to take care of each other?
No, and I agree with that in general. I was just not looking forward to that particular angry and yeah, I agree, unnecessary rage about people who have decided to give a very, very tiny portion of their money to someone else for whatever particular reason. And I do believe that it's your money, you for some reason you have $1 in your pocket. If you decide to give it towards potato salad or something even more frivolous, then by all means do it, so long as you can pay your bills.
Yeah, like the $6.5 million that freeloader LeVar Burton raised for reading Rainbow.
Yeah, what did that show ever do except encourage good habits?
What a bullshit. I learned to read when I was a fucking toddler. I don't need to do it as an adult. These kids today have it so easy.
Why do I need a TV show to teach me how to read? TV isn't words. Checkmate.
Have you guys seen any of the, basically the imitators that this Kickstarter has spawned?
No.
There's a bunch of these. I saw, they were collected an article. One of them was pancakes. Just pancake.
To me, that's the real joke. That is like the real joke, though, is that it's like, it's obvious what you're doing. You have just copied somebody else's joke. You've renamed it, but, instead of like a New Yorker and, a rabbi and a surfer walk into a bar, you're like, okay, a Chicagoan and an imam and a skateboarder walk into a bar. And it's just like, I mean, well, it's not funny when you do it second, man.
Well, isn't that the nature of the internet, though? If there's a joke, the joke will be recycled and changed ever so slightly until it becomes a meme, and then it's sort of a joke that we, as almost like culturally and across the world are telling. This one, on the other hand, this goes beyond grumpy cat. This.
But the thing is, he's got the joke. Like, the joke is now potato salad. It's not pancakes. You're not going to be remembered as the funny guy who copied the potato salad guy, but this time he made it about a breakfast food.
Oh. Potato salad or pancakes, guys? What would you rather have?
Potato salad. I'm more savory than sweet.
I would say pancakes, but I'm the kind of guy who actually, when my wife says, hey, you want to have breakfast for dinner? And I'm like, yeah. And she says, I'm going to make some pancakes and bacon. I'm like, that's like the greatest thing you could have just said to me right now.
I totally do as well. I love breakfast for dinner, but my breakfast for dinner is like bacon, fried eggs, sausage, like blood pudding, fucking hash browns. I do it up lumberjack style.
Okay. All right.
I like to think part of the success of this is just how inherently funny the words potato salad sound together. I did read an article that Ben Kuchera wrote on Polygon that I kind of agreed with to a certain extent, of where it was like, he was like, yeah, okay, it's a joke that this guy's earning like tens of thousands of dollars to like make potato salad. And he's like, but guess what? His Kickstarter pitch is way better than yours. And he outlines about why the Kickstarter pitch is way better, of where it's just like, he's like, yeah, this is what I'm doing, and like, this is what I'm going to do with your money, and if you do this, this is what I'm going to give you. And he's like, and this is true, Austin, I mean, I know that when you were working in Blistered Thumbs, you must have gotten more than your fair share of emails, press releases that are all like, we're kickstarting a new game! And like, how so many of them are like, oh, you know, it's really tough for a blank to do, like, you know, content without having, like, loads of money, and I got really sick last year, and I don't really have much money, and I've been writing ever since I was in elementary school, and I've got this really great idea, but I just don't have the capital to do it, so give me money and I'll do it. As opposed to being like, hey, here's why you should fucking fund my potato salad.
My fingers fell off. I have to code with my thumbs.
You know, like, but this is the thing, is that it's a new way of doing business, right? You can't just be like, oh, give me money because I'm asking for it. But you can, like, you know, you can present to people, like, Leon, I've donated to your Patreon.
Yeah. And thank you.
And the reason why I do, yes, you mentioned me in your last video again. I was like, aw, again? But the reason why I do is, you know, like, not because we are friends, although I imagine that has some relation to it, but because I find your shows insightful and always entertaining and educational and spurring of debate. You know, I want to see more of it, and I'm okay with paying money to get content that I want. In fact, I'm aware of the possibility that that's really the only way that I get things that I want, is to offer to pay for them, or else people can't afford to make them.
Yep.
So, you know, Kickstarter's this new way to do business, but you still have to give people what they want, not appeal to their sense of beneficence. Because if they're beneficent, then they're perfectly willing to just donate money to poor and disadvantaged people, which, to be honest, are probably not people that have access to Kickstarter.
Sadly, it's probably true. I mean, when someone says something like, why give money to any Kickstarter when you could give it to someone else? Why don't we use Kickstarter for this? Well, there actually are charities that you can use outside of Kickstarter to use that. Kickstarter is more for, like, starving artists or struggling companies and food, apparently.
Yeah, people that have ideas, like potato salad, that don't necessarily have a market, like potato salad.
Yeah. I feel like have we said all we can possibly say about potato salad?
So don't get your shorts in a knot, people. It's just a bowl of potato salad. Granted, a $65,000 bowl of potato salad, or two.
Well, there's still 20-something days to go, so.
Yeah, we got 3/4 of a month to go, so.
So it's going to be like a lot of potato salad, not just like a few bowls of like the most expensive potato salad ever made out of like gold and like the pages of an unfinished J.D. Salinger novel.
I want a flume ride. Except all the water is replaced with potato salad. That's what I want from this. I want a log with seats in it and a picture when people go over the potato salad fall, because it's not a waterfall. It would be a potato salad fall. Hands in the air, shirts, and like spoons and forks and napkins tied around their necks. That's what I want from this.
He just fills Splash Mountain at Disney World with potato salad.
Shit yeah, son.
I don't see why not. All right. I guess we can move on to video games. That'll be something, Austin, you can talk about. Oh, but right before we do, Austin, since we mentioned or alluded to Renegade Cut before, guess what movie I'm doing next?
Geez, was it something we talked about before?
Yeah, it's your favorite movie.
Fight Club?
Yeah, it's actually going to be a 3-part episode that's going to run over a half an hour.
That's a lot of parts.
Yeah, it is. Remember when my show was 8 minutes? Anyway, tell us about the video games.
Video games. This is Leon's least favorite part, where he just hands it off to me and goes and makes a sandwich.
I actually am going to the refrigerator right now, but only because I'm really thirsty. I swear.
Potato salad?
No, like water. I need water.
Are you sure you want? Maybe I should wait until you get back, because I want to talk to you about this.
Give me like 1 second.
Okay. Johnny, you wanna give us a musical interlude while he's gone?
Whim away, a 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 whim away. Any second now, Austin.
I don't have the confidence. I wanted to
In
just...
the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Come on. All right, at least you do the backups and I'll sing the lead.
I'm back. I've returned to save Austin.
Thank you, Leon. I really wish I could...
He asked me.
I really wanted to jump in. I'm just too embarrassed.
He knew what he was getting into.
Okay, so Leon, everyone knows you do Renegade Cut now, your show on movies. But where I first was introduced to your work was when you had a show on video games.
Yep.
You remember the good old days?
Those were the good old days. Those were my earlier days. Stuff that I'm both proud and ashamed of at the same time.
That seems like a fair reaction to it.
Yeah. So yes, I recall, and I do remember what kicked off that show, the pilot episode, and it is the series we're going to talk about now, I guess.
That was like my favorite episode of your show, Heart of Gaming, when
the first one.
He talked about The Sims and how you were just the worst, most evil Sim player ever.
Yeah.
But it looks like EA is going to rain on your Sims parade because they are removing a bunch of features for The Sims 4, most notably no pools and no toddlers, which means you can no longer drown toddlers in your pool.
Okay.
Like that seems like just a dark humor bit there about
whatever happened to art imitating life. That's what I want to know.
But I mean, obviously, outside of the joke, does it seem suspect to anyone that EA is having less features in every sequel? That they're taking things out of every successive Sims, SimCity?
What I know about the progression of The Sims is that even when they make new Sims games, they're still not hardware intensive to the point that it would be difficult to run it on like a new PC. Like for example, I'm pretty sure using the PC I used to play Sims 3, I could probably still play Sims 4. I could be wrong about that, but that's sort of my understanding, that there's usually not these huge leaps forward. But if in terms of leaps backwards, this is the first time I'm hearing of it. I mean, I don't understand the need to remove toddlers. I mean, that was sort of a fun little thing to, you have to. I mean, in terms of the challenge of The Sims, it's not a super challenging game in a lot of respects, but taking care of kids running around and trying to make sure they grow up right, that's like one of the only challenging portions of the game. I mean, taking that out is a little odd. Is it a laziness thing? Like, why bother making toddlers?
I think I can bring some light to this topic.
Okay.
I'm going to present it to you in the manner of a dramatic reading from a page. You guys may have heard of this website, Wikipedia.
Oh, all right.
This dramatic reading is called The Titles of Expansion Packs for The Sims 3. World Adventures. Ambitions. Late Night. Generations. Pets. Showtime. Supernatural? Seasons. University life. Island paradise. Into the future! High-end loft stuff. Fast lane stuff. Outdoor living stuff. Town life stuff. Master's sweet stuff.
Oh my god.
Katy Perry's sweet treats.
How many expansions are there?
There's a good deal of fucking expansions. And with each expansion, it should be mentioned almost that you can buy a new edition of the game that includes it. Like, editions of The Sims 3 are Sims 3, Sims 3 Collector's Edition, Holiday Collector's Edition, Commemorative Edition, Deluxe, Sims 3 plus Pets, Sims 3 plus Showtime, plus Supernatural, plus Seasons, plus University Life, Starter Pack, plus Late Night, plus Generations. So, yeah, they're taking pool not because that they don't have plans to put pools in, but because they're going to sell it to you later. There's going to be a terrible twos expansion pack.
Okay. I was only joking the other day when I said a game is 60% the game and 40% DLC, but it's sort of true with this. God.
Yeah. That's kind of the meat of what I want to get to here is EA. I mean, we shit on EA a lot. Me and Johnny, especially with Origin. They're the butt of many a joke. But they're just getting, like, they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Deservedly the butt of many a joke. Let's get that clear. We're not being unfair to them.
I mean, sometimes we speak a little bit in hyperbole for comedy's sake, but I'm being pretty serious right now when I'm saying they're systematically ruining all of their series. They ruined SimCity with the Always Online stuff. They ruined Mass Effect 3 by rushing the development schedule. They ruined Dragon Age 2 by releasing it at all. In my opinion, that game was bad. So now The Sims. I mean, how long are they going to be able to do this?
I can understand them doing it to The Sims because, Electronic Arts has obviously discovered that there's a lot of money to be tapped in the casual gaming market, and there's really nothing more casual when it comes to, like, computer gaming than The Sims. I mean, it's still, like, I think they're their biggest selling franchise.
That's true, but don't you think the casual ecosystem is very, like, free to play right now? Everyone wants Angry Birds. They don't want 25 expansions for The Sims.
It's true, but I mean, let's pretend here, okay, that the only game that you buy off the shelf is every time a Sims game comes out. And then 4 months later, there's an expansion pack that now has toddlers. And you're like, oh my god, I want to raise a baby! Because that might just be the case. It might just be the case that, like, that they're not trying to sell to people anymore. I mean, I confess, I play The Sims. I don't buy them at launch. I buy them when they're, like, ridiculously cheap. And then it starts out really well-intentioned, and I make versions of myself and my girlfriend, and we buy a house, and we have a kid, and it all ends in tragedy. Fire and police shootouts and ghosts and horrible stuff.
I never go in well-intentioned. I'll just say that right now. To me, The Sims is always a very childish and juvenile, high-tech way of basically burning ants with a magnifying glass for me. I create my characters specifically to screw up the entire neighborhood and then to murder them in the worst possible ways. Does that say something about me?
I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it says that I enjoy the way that this game is presented, but I also kind of like action in my games, so this is as far as I can go with casual gaming, if that makes any sense. It does bother me. One thing bothers me, and one thing seems forgivable. What does seem forgivable is creating a Next Evolution Sims game and saying, here's our new thing, it's way better than the last thing, but there's also other things you can buy. That sounds perfectly reasonable to me, but to take away basically a generation gap, or like you take away a few years out of a character's life that was pretty integral to all the other Sims games and saying you have to pay for it now, strikes me as a little odd. I mean, when I On that, that hard gaming episode, the whole premise was this single father raising an evil baby. That was the joke of the episode and the kind of thing I wanted to do. That would not be possible with Sims 4, at least not at launch, unless the expansion packs were at launch. I have no idea what's going to be available then. But it strikes me as odd. But here's the thing. Sims players, if you look at the amount of expansion packs, you know that they're really, really, really into this thing, and they're going to buy it anyway. And that's really all there is to it. The developers and whoever makes these decisions, they said, some people are going to be angry. And someone says, yeah, but will they buy it anyway? And the other guy says, yeah. And says, well, then we'll do it. And I think it's really going to be as simple as that. I mean,
have you guys seen? I'm really sorry. Have you seen that picture from that PC magazine where the guy reviews that one Sims expansion?
Yeah, he got blacklisted by EA, but it was like a paragraph.
I'm gonna find it. Finish your thought, and I'll link it for you.
I was just gonna say that sometimes these business practices, they seem really shady. And in this case, it's something that I don't think should have happened just on a humane level, if that makes any sense. But, that's not what they're doing. They're sitting around the room. They're going to say, can we do this without, is this going to make us more money or is this going to make us less money? And if they say, well, it'll make us more money, but some people will be upset, then that's the thing they're going to do. And I'm not being like a jerk about this. I'm not, trying to be like super anti-capitalist here. I'm just saying that's their business. That's a business, and that's what a business is going to do. And I think in reality, because people are so intense about The Sims and people are so intense about buying expansion packs for The Sims, that this is something that we'll be angry about now, and then they'll buy the expansion pack later. I mean, I buy The Sims every time it comes out, and I play it for 2 weeks, and I love it, and then I stop playing it forever. And I really wish I could just rent this game. My wife buys each one. She's even more into it than myself. She gets the expansion packs. She has at least 3 or 4 of Sims 3. And I think that, the audience for this game is going to buy that, and they're going to not care enough. They're going to not care about being angry anymore. And I'm going to take out this link now. What the hell is
this? This all does tie in to what we were just talking about during the last segment, though. I mean, invariably people are, they're allowed to spend their money on whatever they want.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you keep reading. Keep reading. It gets better.
I will. Yeah.
So I'm sort of like, okay, Electronic Arts can do whatever they want. They can rip stuff out of a game with the express intention of trying to put it into an expansion pack later. The secret is to not, if it really fucking bugs you, the secret is to not turn the money over to them. And if they still keep making money, then it's kind of like, okay, fine, there are plenty of people who will pay for it, and maybe it's not for you, and you kind of have to cut that fandom loose.
There's nothing wrong with expansions and DLC in theory. It's just that, especially The Sims lends itself to that model particularly well. It's just that you think at least the base game should be as content-rich as the previous installment. As a baseline, at least, right?
Yeah, you would hope so.
Feel free to sell them extra stuff, but at least hit the old bar. Do you want to read some of the best bits for the listeners there, Leon?
Take me 1 minute to read the whole thing. This is a review of a Sims 2. I want to say Sims 2 expansion pack, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah, H&M fashion stuff for the Sims 2.
This will take me 1 minute. Here is what I think happened, but did not happen, at a recent party when one man in a suit met another man in a suit next to a punch bowl filled with molten diamonds. One man said his job was, for want of a better description, to pump out awful money-sponging updates for The Sims 2. The other man said his job was, for want of a better description, to generate soul-destroying advertising deals for a clothing company. They both sighed at this point and looked into each other's vacant eyes. Words weren't needed. This content pack was created then. "Harold, what's wrong?" a wife would later ask her bedraggled husband. "This one's really bad, Sarah," he would admit. "It's 60 sodding outfits for H&M, and we're charging £10 for it." "People will still buy it," she insisted. Harold raised his hand and struck his wife hard across the face, spilling his scotch on the carpet. the carpet they'd bought with that devil money. He knew she was right, but he hated what they had both become. He hadn't sailed in 7 years. Maybe he would go sailing again. Those were the last random thoughts his suffering brain delivered to him as the rope tightened around his neck. How cruel. His frantic kicking relaxed. He was sailing now. This content pack really is unmitigated bum. I really wish I had read that in a British accent.
And that score, like right down there, you can see just like half of the 5. That's out of 100.
Okay. I think that's. I mean, the humor at the end is maybe a little too dark for me these days, but not for 4 years ago, Leon. Yeah. In a way, this is a brilliant review. Oh my god.
And as I said before, that review got that writer blacklisted by EA. They didn't find it quite as funny.
Well, tough. I guess that's EA. He can review from things from other video game companies.
Yeah, it's.
At least we know we'll always get an honest review out of this person.
Absolutely. That's Steve Hoggerty,
Okay.
who used to write for PC Zone, in case anybody's interested.
What does he do now? Because all I want to do is read stuff from Steve Hoggerty.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Steve Hoggerty is up to these days, actually. I think he's freelancing, to tell you the truth.
I love that it's titled, oh, honestly, this can fuck right off. This is wonderful.
Ah, jeez.
So anyway, yeah, Sims 4 is going to be a downgrade somehow, and people are upset, and understandably so, but people will buy it anyway, and people will buy the expansion of the babies.
Yeah, I guess we're going to keep getting things like this until we stop paying for them.
Yep.
So.
And I mean, what was it? I think Ubisoft just came out just this past week and said something about the resistance to DLC, and they were like, fuck no, everybody buys it.
If you have to defend DLC as there's a resistance movement against it, maybe you should re-examine your business model.
You need a rebel squadron.
Well, I mean, only if it stops making you money.
Jeez. Do you guys buy DLC? Because I only trust a very few companies with it, and even then.
Never have in my life.
Sometimes. Well, I sometimes do.
I know I have some Fallout DLC, and I have some Fire Emblem DLC.
Yeah, some of the Bethesda DLC is actually pretty good. The Fallout DLC, some of the Elder Scrolls stuff, not like the horse armor, but
yeah.
Shivering Isles for Oblivion was pretty good. Same with I can't remember the last one they released for Skyrim, what it was called.
Wasn't it Dragonborn?
Yeah, Dragonborn. Dragonborn was pretty cool because they give you a whole new location to go to, and of course new quests and new characters and new gear and shit like that. So it was a little bit more of the game, which made sense to me. Where it was more to explore, more to do, more to talk to, more to equip, more to gather.
Something substantial from a company I trust is it's sometimes worth it. Yeah. But any of this Capcom charging you for palette swap bullshit just gets right into my craw.
Or map packs.
With that said, I will pay $40 if they put the Inklings from Splatoon into Smash Brothers. I want that more than I want the rest of Smash Brothers. Have you guys seen Splatoon? It looks so good.
No.
Only a little bit of the footage.
That's all I want to do.
That they showed at the Electronic Entertainment Expo this year. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Vaguely.
I'm so glad I didn't have to cover it. That's hell. That's what hell is, covering E3.
Yeah. Even if I had the opportunity to go, it's not something I would like to do. I don't like crowds. And I could learn all the information just sitting in front of my computer periodically, over the course of a day. So, but that's me. Oh, and
especially if you were watching Nintendo this year.
Yeah.
Because they were running live streams from their booth almost.
It's the only one.
They were it was pretty awesome.
I don't see why they even bother having the physical show when they can just live stream like presentations and then send out like demos on the PSN and XBLA and eShop and stuff.
Because then we'd all be admitting that games journalism is a farce that doesn't really need to exist, and that most games journalists just regurgitate press releases and are, basically paid to advertise because the company doesn't want to be like, hey, buy this game because it has the word revolutionary and multi-platform in the press release.
Shots fired. Johnny hates journalism.
I do not. I just, there's a line in the sand.
Fair enough. Guys, anything more we want to say about this or video games in general before I move on to something, admittedly not nearly as important, but just something I wanted to talk about? Not important at all, really. I'm really
Leon,
it.
Leon, everything you do is important. I want to hear your words.
Okay. It's just I was trying to think of what I wanted to talk about on the show today, and then I went to the theater and saw a movie, and I feel like I want to talk about this. Just a couple aspects of it. I went and saw Deliver Us from Evil, which is a horror movie that just came out completely under the radar because we're in blockbuster summer movie action season. And with things like Edge of Tomorrow.
Starring Eric Bana.
Yeah. And with things like Edge of Tomorrow and X-Men Days of Future Past and all manner of things coming out around it, no one's really paying much attention to it, especially since, like I said, it's not really a summer movie. It's a movie that could have come out in like February or something. But I went and saw it. My wife and I were saying, we should go to the movies. And I said, I want to see Edge of Tomorrow. And she says, I hate Tom Cruise's face. And I said, okay, I'll watch that when it comes out on Blu-ray. And then we looked down the list. And we said, what's Deliver Us from Evil? I haven't even heard of that. I said, oh, it's a horror movie. And we both like horror movies. And she was still skeptical. But then I said, Joel McHale is in it. In a not comedy movie. And we both just looked at each other and we knew that we were going to go see this. For anyone who does not know much about Joel McHale, he is the main-ish character on Community and the host of the...
Sorry, I was just about to... Yeah, he hosts...
Yeah, that's it. And I watch both of those shows, so I guess I watch him in a lot of stuff. And I was like, what would he be like in a movie where he's not joking around? And it turns out that in this movie he jokes around quite a bit. He is not a comic relief character because there isn't much comedy to be had in this film. But he is the smiling, joking partner of police detective Eric Bana's character's name I don't remember. And basically I said on Twitter, and I meant it, it's just another Catholic horror movie. And by that I mean someone gets possessed, and only a priest can stop him, and the other main character is a skeptic and has lost his faith, and then he gets it back at the end. Spoiler! And that's the movie. There are so many movies like this. It's like a really terrible trope. I would not recommend this movie, except to see Joel McHale, the host of The Soup, and Jeffrey Winger on Community take out 2 knives and fight someone who is like some sort of evil possessed guy who has like a big hook thing and swinging at him while strobe lights flash. It's basically someone completely out of their element. This must be like what it was like when people started watching Jim Carrey in dramatic roles. But in this case, it's like way wackier and way more ridiculous. Joel McHale, he does fine. He does fine with his part. He's like really ripped in this movie. Like he's always like in pretty good shape. He has like a lean, muscular physique on Community because every once in a while he has to take his shirt off. But he's like
suspiciously.
But in this movie he's like jacked and he has a lot of fake tattoos on him, and he has like a backwards baseball cap with the Boston Red Sox on it. He's not Joel McHale at all in this movie, and that's what's funny about it. I really just saw it. If he had not been in this movie, we may have passed on it completely, is what I'm trying to say. It was just, I had to see what this was going to be like. The only other great thing about this movie, because like I said, like 99% of it is trash, is there is a cat that is crucified on a cross. They walk into a room, and there's Cat Jesus who has been nailed to a cross. And it is both the most horrifying and funniest thing I've seen in a theater in a while. So go to see Dead Cat Jesus and Knife Fight Joel McHale, but the rest of it is just recycled Exorcist bullshit.
Now I want to make a movie called Dead Cat Jesus, starring Knife Fight Joel McHale.
Right. It has to be his new moniker, Knife Fight Joel McHale.
I nominate Dead Cat Jesus as the title.
Dead Cat Jesus. I don't think I could get that by the higher ups. It just sounds too.
How about Dead Cat Messiah?
Even so, well, maybe if I don't call Jesus by. I don't know. It might just end up being, oh, this can fuck right off, but I'll have to star the word fuck. I don't know. I mean, we are. It was different in the BT podcast days. For one thing, I wasn't as uptight as I am now, but also we were so under the radar that we could just get away with crap.
God, no balls, Leon.
No
balls.
Are we not under the radar anymore? Are we on somebody's radar? Are we being radared right now?
Well, without giving away our exact numbers for the show, first of all, I just want to say, and I don't mean this in a bad way, this show makes dick. I make about $1.50 for this show, whereas Renegade Cut actually pays my bills. By the way, since you guys are contributors to this episode, if you ever want me to PayPal you 50 cents for the episode, I'd be happy to do it. I'm not even kidding. I'd be happy to do it. I feel a little bad taking the entire $1.50. Usually it's not that much. Usually it's $1.20, but sometimes. So just letting you know. But without going into the numbers. Exactly. When I saw the view count for an episode of BT Podcast, this is twice as much about. So and because we are always on the Tig with Tig main page, I assume that someone is watching. So I mean, we can say Dead Cat Jesus 50 times on this show, but if we put the title Dead Cat Jesus on the banner and showed a Dead Cat Jesus, then I feel like that might be too much. But I could be wrong.
Does that include downloads?
What?
I mean, your numbers. Does that include the Dropbox downloads?
Oh, no, it does not. It's probably a lot more now that I think of it, because some people just listen to the MP3 version. I'm just I can't even tell what that is. I'm just looking at the blip numbers.
I feel like we owe several thousand apologies for this show now.
Oh well. Dead Cat Jesus is my new messiah, right next to Gorfanax. So, guys, we're running low on time. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about? Maybe a couple minutes left, if there's anything pressing we should discuss.
I just finished watching Enterprise.
Oh, really? The entire 4 seasons?
I think it was 5 seasons, wasn't it?
I thought it was 4. I could be wrong.
4? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just finished watching them. They'd be really terrible, and I was like...
Okay. What were your complete thoughts? I shouldn't say initial thoughts since you said
4 seasons. Yeah, sorry, 4 seasons. Here's the thing: is that when it first came out on TV, back when, I was starting to get a nightlife, and the DVR had not yet been invented.
Okay.
So it was if you were gonna record something on TV, you needed a VHS tape. And if you were running out of VHS tape space, you had to record over something. So there came a certain point in time where I lost the plot in Star Trek Enterprise when it first came out during the first season, and I was like, you know what? It is gone to the ages. I have missed it.
Oh.
And thankfully, that wasn't the case. It was on the internet, and I was like, I can watch this now. So I picked it up again, and in the first season I was experiencing similar feelings to when it first showed up, where I was like, oh, hey, this is going to be cool. You know, like the beginnings of the Federation, like strife between the Vulcans and the humans, and like, you know, no bound by the Prime Directive. Humanity kind of muddling its way through space. And then they were immediately like, no, this is actually a show about the future! The super future, but it like set in the past, and I was like, "Oh, you guys have no balls." You know, they didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
They didn't want to mess around in canon, in history. So the first couple of seasons, I sort of had problems with because they were all about that whole like temporal Cold War. But as soon as they ditched that, or whenever they didn't touch on it, whenever they just, like, strayed completely from that, it was just like, hey, look, a planet! Oh, shit, we fucked up! It was a pretty enjoyable series. Like, you know, I was prepared for it to get really, really bad because of how many people, like, say it killed Trek, and it was a horrible Trek. And I didn't feel that way. It was flawed, obviously, but I mean, you know, I had fun with it. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. Not the best, obviously, not even the second best, but good enough, certainly.
Well, how I feel about Star Trek Enterprise is the first two seasons, to me anyway, were mostly bad. Of course, I haven't watched them since, but in my initial viewing of them, I disliked the first two seasons for the most part, but I continued to watch because I was and still am a big Trekkie. The third season was an improvement, and then the fourth season was good.
Yeah, that was the one where they go into the Expanse and they're searching for the weapon and the Xindi.
No. The third season was the Xindi.
Right.
Yeah, and they started to improve. But the final season where it's just like everything's a big story, everything's like a 2 or 3 parter, and they just say, let's just have these larger stories where almost every story we're going to tell in this season is going to be almost like a movie. And yeah. I said, well, this is actually really good, and then they canceled it. And at least it ended on a high note. Well, the last episode was not a high note, but the last season was their best. And the way I feel Enterprise is that if it had run 7 seasons like TNG and DS9 and Voyager, then we may have looked back at Enterprise very differently. We would have looked back at Enterprise and said, well, you know, it took a while to really get started, but then it was great for most of the show. Because
Next Generation was the same way.
Yeah, exactly. And frankly, the first season of Deep Space Nine was trash. And I mean, it was great by season 2, but the first season, and honestly, maybe even first two seasons of the Next Generation were really rough. And to say that they were inconsistent, maybe even be too generous.
I still have trouble looking at the jumpsuits with the zippers.
Nah.
Like, I'm sorry, you know, like, I have trouble when I see pictures or when I watch episodes where Jean-Luc Picard has this giant zipper running, like, right up from his crotch to his neck. I'm just like, I'm sorry, you just look like a big bald kid in his pajamas.
Yeah, and we could have looked back on Enterprise kind of like that and said, you know, it started rough just like every other Star Trek, and then it got better just like every other Star Trek, except Voyager, which started strong and then started to get bad. I mean, I would say the earlier Voyager is somewhat better than the later Voyager, but that's just my opinion.
I didn't like Kes. Kes was like,
yeah.
Kes was dull. But, I mean, she wasn't a major part of the show.
No. But
the rest of the characters more than made up for the kind of, like, weird vacuous staleness that she presented.
Fair enough. I remember having a huge crush on her, but looking back, I'm rewatching the show now with my wife, who has never seen it before. Yeah, she's not that great as a character, but it's actually full of a lot of really Voyager has a lot of. I'll just say this. I'll just say it right now. The cast of characters in one Voyager is more interesting to me than the cast of characters on the Next Generation, because when I look at Next Generation, I think standout, you know, exciting characters or interesting characters, I think Data and Worf and sometimes Riker, but when I think of Voyager, Janeway's a lot more fun than Picard, and Tom Paris is great, and Neelix is wacky, and
The Doctor.
The Doctor is great, and Tuvok is like he deadpans everything, but he says a lot of sassy shit in his deadpan that it's great.
I think it's fair to say that Voyager had a more interesting cast of characters, but the actors on Next Generation were stronger.
I don't know, because Marita Sirtis was kind of bad throughout, in my opinion, and
Yeah, but
let me think, and Will Wheaton, to be perfectly frank, and a few more in there, but I don't know. It's a mixed bag, but I think Voyager gets crapped on a bit too much. And just thinking back up to it, if things have gone differently, Enterprise would not have been crapped on as much. So,
I'm with you.
What could have been? Austin has been so quiet for the past 10 minutes because he doesn't watch this stuff.
No, from his Twitter page though, it seems like he's watching Twin Peaks.
All right.
I'm trying to get through the post-Dolores killer revealed stuff. The show is so unbearable after that.
You've got one on me, Austin, because I've never seen one episode of it. So, yeah.
It's Johnny, you're a big Twin Peaks fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
What do you think about the stuff in like the latter half of the second season?
It requires some patience. Particularly because post reveal, they almost immediately diverge and start to do other stuff. It became a great joke amongst the friends that I first watched Twin Peaks to launch into a chorus of just you and I. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I do not. What happened now?
The song that James writes.
He may not be there yet.
With the cuss.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I just didn't recognize the name of the song. I remember that. I hid under the covers. That was so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Has he left town yet?
Yeah, I'm past that. It's past him with the other woman at the mansion subplot. That's already over.
Yeah, they were struggling. There are some subplots that are just like absolutely, totally, and utterly unbearable.
The one about what the hell's her name? The woman who gets like superpowers and thinks she's a teenager again.
Yeah, Nadine.
I get really, really bad secondhand embarrassment. Like I have trouble watching like cringe comedies and stuff, and that was putting me right over the edge. It was difficult to watch. I was thinking about just stopping altogether, but I want to see it through. Just to say I did.
Guys, we are running out of time. Any last words, Johnny? You usually have some that are weird.
I do?
Oh, well, then let's not this week.
You do.
I got it. Hold on to your calendars, kids, because in a few years the dates are going to match up, and people are going to think you're a time traveler.
Well done. Well done.
I'm really hungry for potato salad. I'm going to talk to you guys later.
Okay. I'm really hot in this room because I have to turn off the air conditioner and the fan and close the windows to do this show because otherwise there's tons of ambient noise. So I'm like sweating through everything. So I'm going to say goodbye for now from me and everyone at WordFunk, and we will see you next week. Well, we won't see you, and you won't see us, but you will hear us next week because
Stay gold, Pony Boy.
If you send us a picture, then we'll see you next week.
Yeah, send your pictures to Austin's email address.
No, Sean at channelawesome.com.
Sean at channelawesome.com. All your pictures go there. The sexier, the better, fellas.